Turn it off! Turn it off! Do you hear that? Turn it off!
Hello? Karen, could I... Yeah, give me a couple of seconds, darling. Right, I'm back. Oh, that's fantastic, Jack. Yeah, no, you must be so relieved. No, of course I'll tell everybody. No, you look after Jack. Don't worry about coming back. How's Rob? Dreadful. No, don't worry. We'll all be back to normal in no time. All right, love. Take care. Bye-bye.
How are you feeling? Harrison, I'm sorry. I know how hard this must be. Of course, you're aware of how badly this investigation's gone for them already. And that there's bound to be a certain amount of personal animosity toward you. But we can turn that to our advantage. Our main aim at this stage is to slow the process down, so we're looking for weaknesses. Any technicalities we can use to buy us some time.
Playing for snookers, we used to call it.
Actually, I wouldn't refer to your background. It's an open goal. And I'm sorry, but if you don't want to fight, then you may as well tell me now. I don't like wasting my time.
Fine. I'm all yours.
Dr. Carter. You seen that grubby little oik out there? It's disgusting. Parasite. Volta!
Okay, Heston.
How are you doing?
Okay, thanks.
If there's anything we can do to help.
Cheers.
At any time.
I'll be fine.
You know,
If
Heston...
everyone just leaves me alone.
I've no idea. All day, probably. How's Jack?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. He was lucky. I know you'd like to be in on this one.
But it's probably best I'm not.
He's going to get everything he's got coming to him, OK?
Good. You better.
I just want you to remember that my door is always open to you. And I don't just mean Kevin and Elaine, I mean everybody. You know, this is going to be a difficult thing for us to put behind us. It's not going to be easy, but I think we should make a start, and that means we all need to pull together.
Hear, hear.
Absolutely.
Now, Zara and Daniel will be back from holiday at lunchtime. Could you cover this morning?
Of course. No problem.
Right, well, thanks a lot, everybody. And please, whatever you do, just ignore the nasty little creep outside. Kevin, could I have a word with you?
I'm just pleased about Jack.
Yeah, me too, can't tell you.
How are you now?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks, Heston.
Kevin, listen, I just wanted to say to you, if you've got any problems or...
You've said that already.
And you can always talk to Daniel.
Eh?
Well, as your ex-mentor, if you've got a problem...
Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. Well, what's wrong with that?
Mr. Keller's solicitor is also present.
Rachel and Betts.
Thank you. Mr. Keller, you were accused of the murder of Lauren Porter and the attempted murder of Jack Hollins. Are you guilty of those crimes?
You don't have to answer that.
Well, as we have a first-hand account of Mr. Keller's attempt to murder Jack Hollins, I'll come back to that later. Where were you on the night Lauren died?
And when was that exactly?
September the 20th, between the hours of 10 p.m. and midnight.
No, I can't be absolutely sure.
find that hard to believe.
Possibly in bed. I could have been on the sofa. But I was at home.
Alone.
I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. Yes! There's the pestilential nuisances who write for autographs.
I am so sorry, Dr. Carter. 1 week to go. I am so excited.
Terrifying, actually.
You know it back to front.
But not the right way.
You will be magnificent. King of the Cocos.
Oh, I don't know, with all this business.
You must put it all behind you.
You try telling the patients that, and young Kevin is about to explode.
Do not worry. Mrs. Parsons and I have it all in hand.
And someday it may happen that a victim must be found. I've got a little list.
So let's go back to Jack Hollins. Why did you try to kill him?
No, that's an assumption.
He was caught holding a pillow over his face. I don't think he was trying to make him more comfortable, were you, Mr. Keller?
Mr. Keller is unable to say at this time.
Unable or unwilling? He was your friend, though, wouldn't you say?
No. I wouldn't say friend.
Well, you helped him in his studies. Well, a mentor, almost.
I just wanted to give something back. But over time, I found him increasingly untrustworthy, unstable.
So you attacked him? And did you turn on Lauren in the same way?
I think we've already addressed that question.
But you did know Lauren, and Jack found out about your relationship, which is why you tried to kill him.
I'm sorry, that's pure conjecture.
But why else, except to cover up his murder of Lauren Porter? Please answer the question. Why did you attack him? Mr. Keller.
An eye for an eye.
Sorry?
Well, come on, think about it. Maybe it was Jack Hollins who killed Lauren.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Go on.
So how are you, Dr. Cassidy?
I'm fine, thank you.
After all these terrible things going on.
Oh, that's all over and done with now.
But it must have been a shock, though. Oh, that poor girl. Oh, it doesn't bear thinking about. And I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You could all have been murdered in your beds.
Elaine, could I borrow you for a minute?
Excuse me.
So, who have I got today, then?
You will be seeing... Oh, Dr. Tyler.
What? He not done it?
He did not do anything.
But even so, wasn't he the boyfriend or something?
Now, Maury, do not get into one of your states.
Be honest. How would you like it? Oh, he gives you the willies.
Is there a problem?
Not at all.
No. I'm sorry. I don't want to cause a fuss, but I'd rather see someone else.
I will change it to Dr. Carter, but you will have to come back this afternoon.
Oh, thank you.
Did he have the necessary expertise?
He's a bright lad.
And the stomach? To go back and handle a corpse a few days later? And take a blade, cut off a finger? Do you really think he could be that clinical?
Perhaps that's something you'd need to ask Mr. Hollins.
Why didn't you put it in your report?
Well, there wasn't any proof.
So you took the law into your own hands?
Oh. Look, I wouldn't have killed him, okay? I wouldn't have done that. It was just a moment of anger.
According to Jack Hollins, you chloroformed him, put him in a body bag, and left him for dead in the canal. And when that didn't work, you tried to suffocate him as he lay unconscious in hospital. It's not really a flash of anger, is it? It's more a premeditated and calculated attempt to murder him.
Mr. Keller has no comment at this time.
Jack woke up, you see. Despite your attempts. Lots to tell us. Very precise. He's a bright boy.
Is this really necessary?
Let's cut the bull, Harrison. You tried to kill Jack because he discovered your relationship with Lauren. Oh, let me guess. No comment.
I'm sorry, but if a patient prefers to be seen by someone else...
He's completely innocent, and you know that.
But they do not.
Then it's your job to tell them. It's the least you can do.
Dr. Wilson, I am more than aware of what my job is.
Then you should be doing it better. By giving him your full support, like Julia said.
You are right.
So why did you visit Jack in hospital?
What do you think?
What, you were concerned about his well-being? Even though you were the one who put him there?
Look, I really don't remember. Maybe it just seemed like a good idea at the time.
So, how do you explain these sudden lapses in memory? For a man in your profession with such a highly trained scientific mind. And I have to say, in all the years of working together, I've never noticed you having this problem. Quite the opposite, in fact. You always seem very confident in your abilities.
With all due respect, Lynette, there are lots of things that you don't notice.
Arrogant, some might say.
It's probably why we're here now.
Meaning?
You really want to know?
Yes, please.
I think what he's trying to say...
I'd like to hear it from him.
...is that false accusations have already been made on this case. And the same thing's happening now.
We made another sweep on Lauren's house.
Oh, really? Not Marcus, surely?
Absolutely clean. Not one molecule to suggest that Jack was ever there.
Mm-hmm. What about me? You find anything?
Of course not, because you were the one who cleaned it.
What, you can prove that, can you?
Well, who else, Harrison?
It's pathetic.
Who else is up to your impeccable standards?
Which means that in actual fact...
How stupid do you think we are?
You don't have any evidence to connect Mr. Keller to the murder of Lauren Porter, do you?
Interview suspended, 10:52. A word.
You what?
They're trying to discredit Jack. And me, for that matter.
What about his alibi?
Well, they're bound to try and find some hole to crawl out through, aren't they?
But you don't believe it, do you? Not for a second.
What do you think? She's good, though. I'll give her that. Smarmy cow.
I don't care if she is good. Look, we've got to get it right for once this time, haven't we? I'm sorry, boss, but I just don't want him dragged back into this. Not after what he's been through.
You don't think I'm up to it, do you? Don't think I'm good enough?
Of course I do.
So why am I reporting back to Daniel again all of a sudden?
It was just a suggestion.
5 months I've been here, now it's straight back to square one.
Now, you know that's not true.
When it wasn't my fault, any of it.
We know that.
So why am I still being punished then? By everyone? Why can't people just let it go, eh? Just leave me alone.
Look, Kevin, I know you're trying to get past this. But Daniel's a friend as much as anything else, isn't he?
I just want to go back to how it was before.
Well, you know, it's not that simple. Look, all anyone is trying to do is help you. That's all.
Excuse me. Mr. Keller's lunch. Is there a vegetarian option? Is anything wrong with that?
No. But it makes me wonder sometimes, you know, about people like you.
Sorry?
I don't know how you live with yourselves, doing what you do.
Well, everyone's entitled to a proper defence, aren't they? Sergeant...
Hollins. Only he could come up with a brief like that. You know, I saw his wife not long ago. She was 8 months pregnant and he's dipping his wick everywhere.
Well, we can't charge him for that.
No, but you can mention it. You can't pass the buck on that, can he?
She's fractured her hip. I told them those tiles are like death traps.
That's awful.
Marion's devastated. She could be laid up for weeks.
Does Daniel know how long he'll be staying?
He's going to ring tonight, but with the Greek health system.
This is a disaster.
Tell me about it. I've just had to schlep all the way back from Greece at the crack of dawn on a perfectly horrible flight, with Izzy complaining the whole way about earache.
Who are we going to get to come?
And then I had to drive all the way to Nottingham to hand her over to Lisa, who hardly welcomed us with open arms.
So what are we going to do?
Well, I thought after the holiday from hell, you'd at least be pleased to see me.
I was thinking about Kevin.
So what were you doing at home on the night of the 20th?
That's where I live. I was drinking a bottle of wine, probably.
And your wife?
Well, she's staying at her mother's, but then you already know that.
When's the baby due again? Just trying to establish a little background. Mr. Keller's home life?
The unfortunate breakdown of which, I suspect, may well have contributed to his recent stress and mental fatigue.
Or he could just be a cold, calculating liar with a dubious attitude towards women. Why else would he be spending his time in nightclubs, picking up women half his age, when his wife is about to have his first child?
I'm sorry, are we here to discuss facts or make moral judgments?
You also had an affair with Dr. Elaine Cassidy, didn't you? But then she left you when she found out you were married. And then your wife left you, of course.
Which is all completely irrelevant.
So, did Lauren dump you too? Is that it?
Nice try.
And you've already admitted to these uncontrollable flashes of temper?
On one occasion.
And then, of course, there was Dr. Tyler, Lauren's other lover. I mean, maybe you found out about him. Maybe heard him at the door.
You have no way of knowing that?
Yeah, it must have been really hard for you, though. What with him being so much fitter, younger than you. Much more Lauren's age, in
I didn't
fact.
hear anything.
Well, how could you? If you weren't there.
It just can't be helped. I'm really sorry.
So what do I do now?
Well, maybe Heston or Jimmy would be happy to listen to...
Yeah.
It's just for the time being.
Look, I know my friends are, all right? Freya's the only one who gives a toss, amazingly. Not that it makes any difference.
Oh, and why is that?
Because none of the patients want to see me, do they? So, thanks and all that, Julia, but
I'll get on to it.
I just want to finish my training and get out of here.
No, Kevin, I don't want you to even think like that.
For good. Okay?
I wonder, did Lauren know you were married? Or had she just found out? Like Elaine?
Assuming she even knew him, of course.
It's what all these women see in him that gets me. I mean, what would some beautiful young woman with a whole life ahead of her want with some sad little middle-aged married man like you?
Beats me. But then you're the one making this up, so...
Well, maybe the alcohol in her bloodstream helped. Maybe it was that wine of yours. Was that what it was? A drunken row? Or maybe it was the sex. After all that booze, man your age.
No, this is just harassment and personal invective.
No. This is the best that she can do.
Preying on my client's vulnerable state of mind. Now, as I've tried to point out, Mr. Keller has recently been subject to a number of extraordinary pressures, at home and at work, and on this case in particular.
And how's that?
The horrors involved, naturally, and the frequent mishandling of it, by you, which has only added to his feelings of confusion and distress.
Poor lamb.
And as such, I suggest we postpone further questioning, pending the provision of a medical report.
How many have refused to see Kevin?
So far, 10.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Today. Plus the other 27 this week.
Well, how many of them agreed to see other doctors?
12 did. But the rest left the practice.
Oh, this is appalling.
Plus the other 43 from the other doctors. Good afternoon, the Mill Health Centre.
I'm sorry, we're not open till 4. No, I just need to talk to Mrs. Tenby. It's rather urgent.
So, was there anything else?
You know, I bet this is exactly what the scraper's doing now. Working on his plea. Bleating on about how it's his granny's fault that he murdered all those women, or his traumatic birth, or his terrible fear of donkeys. Because there's always something else to blame, isn't there? And I had you down as someone bigger than that. With some self-respect. Not some snivelling little scum like Michael's getting the violins out.
I'm nothing like him.
I used to look up to you. We all did, in a way. You was brilliant. Best SFO in the Nick.
DCI driver.
But as soon as the cuffs go on... Nah. Just like that scum Michael's.
I'm nothing like him.
I'd say you were exactly like Michael's, thinking it through, picking out the murder weapons you knew you could destroy, covering your tracks, trying to make fools of us all. All for some sick, perverted pleasure.
It's time we took that break.
Because you know, better than most, that it's all about power. Playing God. And once you'd choked the life out of that girl, you had to go back there, thinking of her, lying there, defenceless. You had to go back and start touching her again, hacking at her body.
I didn't hack at anything!
Don't say any more.
You're probably right. You probably took your time, took pride over it. You take pride in your work. And there's Jack, too, powerless. And so he just picked up the pillow and shoved it on his face.
Well, tell her that she's not.
Why? Because you could.
That's enough.
And don't tell me that you didn't enjoy it. Because I know that you did. You loved it. Every bit of that power. You
Liar! 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 Liar!
I'm very sorry. I am really.
Maureen, please.
But I think it's best if I move to another practice.
Do you mind if I ask you why?
Well, everyone else at the church is, so I just asked them.
They are wrong.
You know, there's absolutely no need.
Well, with all due respect, you would say that. No, I'm sorry. I'll see you on Sunday.
Maureen.
No, it's all right, don't worry.
Mrs. Bright, isn't it? You're not leaving us, surely?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Not because of all that nonsense in the papers. Accusing a dedicated, hard-working young doctor without the least shred of evidence whatsoever. It's an absolute scandal, wouldn't you agree? No, you strike me as a fair-minded Christian sort of lady, not one to rush to judgment or cast the first stone. After all, how would you feel if it were your son, or husband, or brother? You would stand by him. You would face that prejudice head-on and show to the world that there is still a little justice and common decency left. That is what you would do, Mrs. Bright. So now, what seems to be the trouble?
I will make you both a nice cup of tea.
Kevin.
Yeah, why do you think I'm here? Why? I mean, you should know, if anybody, and you've just handed them the whole thing on a plate. I thought we were going to work together. I thought you were going to trust me. Okay, fine. We can use this. We can turn the whole thing back on them. We warned them you weren't in control, so they've only themselves to blame. From here on in, it's diminished responsibility, pure and simple. Just follow my lead. And don't say one more word until I ask you.
No, I can't. I won't. I'm sick of playing games. Just got worse and worse over the years. This rage, all the time, day and night. And I could do whatever I liked, but it just took control. She said some very cruel things, but she was very talented at that. I just needed her to be quiet. All those words, that music, pounding through my head, and I couldn't make it stop any more than I can do now. And then going back, it's just routine. You get used to blocking these things out. But then I panicked, thinking that I was going to be locked up with all that filth and people that I'd helped put there. And that was absolutely the worst nightmare, Lynette. And the truth is, you know, I'd swap places with her any day. But I didn't take any pleasure from it. Like him, I didn't. Lynette. And I don't want anyone to think that I did. Especially my child.
Harrison, did you kill Lauren Porter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, that's the trouble with those tiles when they're wet.
I told them once, Maureen.
Mint.
Don't mind if I do.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
Well, bye. And I'm sorry about...
Oh, I will see you at church on Sunday.
Think you made a friend for life there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carmichael.
Good to have you back.
That was another transfer request.
One of Kevin's?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, we can't go on losing patients like this.
You're kidding.
The lot.
Oh, that is just fantastic news. Fantastic.
And thanks.
What for?
Well, the family stuff, it worked a treat.
Oh, it's all right. Karen is going to be so happy. They all are.
One thing, Collins.
What's that, boss?
Just keep your family out of here in future. Yeah?
It's not my fault.
Hey, look out! Jack! Oh, what's going on, you crazy woman?
Have you been following me?
Yeah, I just want to...
Have you seen the price of food?
I should have known.
And naturally, it will be all inflation linked.
This is so bad.